Welcome to the Hello Lovely podcast. I'm your host, Christie Williams, and I teach women how to be themselves. As an exclusive life coach for women, I'll teach you how to manage anxiety, make decisions you're confident in, and stop beating yourself up. So let's get started. Hey ladies, we're going to get right into it today in the topic, take the pressure off. So the very first point to get started is our circumstances don't cause pressure. What? Pressure is an emotion we feel. And it can seem like the circumstance we're in is causing the pressure. But what I want to offer you today is that you can remove the layer of pressure and change your experience even when you can't change the circumstance. Which is really good to know because most of the time we want to run around and change our circumstances, which can be done. A lot of times it can be done. It takes a lot of time, a lot of effort. When if we didn't have to change the circumstance, we might actually enjoy it more. Options are endless. So it's very powerful to know this, and I'm sharing this concept with you because it is so powerful. But the first thing to note about this is don't do it perfectly. Because it is a beautiful tool and you'll be able to change your experience and remove the pressure, you're going to want to do it perfectly. Like we want to do things perfectly. It's like once we master something, then we think we're going to be a superhuman and never have negative emotions again. And it's important to know that you're not failing if you have negative emotions. We're a human being. Human beings have a 50-50 split of positive and negative emotions, just like a battery. The difference when you take the pressure off is when you're having emotions, it doesn't ever feel like you're stuck in them, doesn't feel overwhelming, doesn't feel like you have to get out of there. You're just able to change your experience as a human. So don't do it perfectly means don't think that any of the concepts that I ever share with you are going to remove negative emotion and you become this person who's just this robot who doesn't feel. The purpose of this episode is to remove the added pressure that comes from how you think, which is your mindset. Still a human, but with less pressure. And this makes a big impact on your experience, like our lives and our emotions and what we think. It's all our experience. So when you remove the pressure, negative emotions are not a problem. It's huge. So you can feel them and not feel like you're going to stay there and never get out. Okay, so here we go. Pressure comes from how we think about a situation. This is not out of our control, but it can absolutely feel like that when we're not aware of what we're thinking. The human experience is we see something, and then it's as if we automatically feel emotions out of nowhere. But there is something important in between what we see and our body's response. It happens so fast and mostly without our notice, but it is a big piece. It's our thoughts, our thinking. I'll give you a great example of this. A couple years ago, I signed up for school. I was so excited to get started. And then I got the books in the mail about a month before class started. I took out about 5-6 large books out of the box and immediately went into a panic. Sweating, heart racing, spinning, looking around like my hands were like up in the air. Confusion. It's the perfect example to use here because I wasn't sweating and my heart wasn't racing because of the books. The books in the box, the books coming out of the box, the size of the books. The books were not making me feel panic. So what was happening between me feeling panic, and the books. What happened in between seeing the books and my reaction was a buttload of thoughts. What have I done? I can't do this. This is a lot. Oh no. Why did I sign up for this? This is too much. I gotta get out of this. I need to return them. Okay. So on paper, those sentences, those thoughts, they don't mean much to me. But when my brain threw them up in my face, I felt pressure and panic. Thankfully, I knew how to be aware of that and take the pressure off. But without this tool, I probably would have thought at that moment, I must need to cancel. I must need to quit school. I must need to send these books back. And also have thought that pressure and panic were a problem. Instead, I took a nice deep breath, didn't change anything, took a look at what I was thinking, and noticed all those thoughts that I shared with you a moment ago. So all of those thoughts, each individual one, was causing me to feel pressure. Now, pressure comes from a sentence you think. Thoughts are sentences in your head. And the sentence or thought is what creates how you feel. Not the books, not the circumstance. The initial emotional response or reaction we have doesn't mean something has gone wrong or something is wrong with you or that you shouldn't think that. It just means you're thinking something. So you can give yourself the gift of the pause, breathe, and you can change your thoughts, which will change how you feel and take the pressure off. But it's also very valuable to see what you are thinking that's making you feel pressure and write those down. Just like I was able to share with you those thoughts above. Oh no, what have I done? There's you, there's the circumstance, and there are your thoughts about it. And it feels like a big jumble that's all meshed together, but each of those things is separate. Your thoughts, the circumstance, and you. We think a lot of thoughts that we do not believe. We think a lot of thoughts that mean nothing. But sometimes some of those thoughts feel so real and impact us so much that it does all feel like a big mess in a jumble. But they're all separate, and you can change the way you think about a circumstance. So if there's one circumstance now or two that are causing you pressure or seem to cause you pressure, take a moment to investigate your thoughts about it. Why do you feel pressure? That'll get you started. It'll start pulling out those thoughts, the answer to that question. Why do you feel pressure? Challenge those thoughts. What if you could be in the same situation without the pressure? Investigate that. What would that look like? And don't stop investigating at I don't know. The new perspective is right behind that. And it doesn't mean that you don't want to still change your circumstances. It doesn't mean that you won't. It just means you don't have to, and you may choose not to once you change your perspective, your thinking, your mindset about it. Pressure is a human emotion, and you're not crazy for feeling it. It's human. But if you want to change your experience and feel less pressure, remove the added pressure, choose a new perspective. This is a skill set. It doesn't just come from positive thinking alone, and it's not something you force on yourself. Like, I have to think differently about this. It will be very difficult to change your perspective if you're forcing yourself. Whenever we tell ourselves we have to or we should, pretty much closes down our creativity and perspective abilities. So just take those out. You don't have to, and it's not that you should, it's just that you can. The skill set is redefining how you choose to see the situation. It's a beautiful process. And every time you create a new perspective, you learn a lot about yourself. You get closer to yourself. You don't feel as reactive to things because 1, you give yourself the gift of the pause and breathing. 2, you investigate your thoughts. And 3, you can change how you think and choose a new perspective, which will change how you feel, regardless of the circumstance. Pressure, emotions, they're not confusing. They're not things you need to fix. And if you're ready to use this skill set to drop the added pressure and feel comfortable in your body and emotions, let's work together. Sign up for your free consult at MissChristieWilliams.com. You can feel comfortable with your emotions when you feel them and stop beating yourself up. They go hand in hand. It's very hard to change your perspective if you're beating yourself up and judging yourself. It's harder to feel your emotions all the way through and let them go when you're judging yourself, beating yourself up, or your inner critic is screaming at you. But it is a simple process. So think of a circumstance you're in right now. What would it be like to feel in control without the pressure? You can take the first step to that today. I love you ladies so much. Enjoy your day. I'll see you next time. Hey, lovely. If you want to be more confident on the outside, you have to start on the inside. If you don't take time to create an amazing relationship with yourself, it will show up in every other area of your life. If you feel stuck or don't know how to be yourself, I invite you to work with me one-on-one. Go to MissChristieWilliams.com and sign up for a free call to join my 6-month program. That's MissChristieWilliams.com, and I'll see you in session.